What is happening internet? J Gamer Dude here, and I don't know if it's Nintendo's fault or Konami's fault, but whoever it is, it largely doesn't matter because both companies suck to an equal extent regarding this. So we're going to be talking about Metal Gear Solid, Master Collections, resolution, and frame rate. Now, normally I don't really care too much about performance as long as the game is fun, but I've learned and kind of had a bit of a look around, did a bit of research, and realized, oh god, things are much worse than expected. So essentially, the reason why things are worse than expected is because every console is going to be aiming for 1080p at 60 FPS. And that's like, okay, I'm surprised you didn't try to target 4K. But the fact that they're only targeting it and not saying that it is going to be running as such was a little bit disconcerting for every console except the Switch, which is going at 720p at 30 frames per second. And I thought to myself, hold on, wait, what? Because, funnily enough, so Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 kind of released on the PS2, and they were kind of running at, 30 FPS there. Actually, was it 30 or was it 60? Okay, I think they were running 30 FPS on there, but on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, 2 generations ago, we got the Metal Gear Solid Collection that featured Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. And these games were running at 1080p 60 FPS. And yet, the Switch is going for 720p at 30 FPS. The console that released in 2017 cannot match the specifications for which the PS3 and 360, which released in 2006 and 2007, effectively are able to produce. That's where I'm like, okay, surely there's no way. And so I actually did boot up Metal Gear Solid 3 on my PS3 just to have a bit of a look, and yeah, it was running at 1080p at 60 FPS. So the fact of the matter is that the Switch has absolutely no excuse in running at a lower resolution and a lower frame rates, regardless of whether or not it's running in handheld mode or in dock mode. And you might be like, the PS3 might be stronger than the actual Switch itself. Then what about the PS Vita? The PS Vita is the exact same. So the PS Vita also got Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 in a cartridge. A console that released in 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. And then we're looking at the Switch, which released in 2017, where games run a lot better, look a lot better, and the OLED screen does a lot more to make everything look a lot clearer. Plus the screen is a lot bigger. The Switch is better than the Vita in every single sense of the word. I still love my Vita because there's so many more better Japanese games on there. Like, Idea Factory really went hard on that console, and I absolutely love it to bits. But you can't look someone in the face and say, the Vita runs these games better than the Switch can, and somehow universally seems to be also running and looking worse than the original PS2 version. It's like, oh god. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this, was just realizing that the Switch version is going to run worse than the original release on PS2, the PS3 remasters, for which this entire collection is based off of. It's based off of the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, and yet somehow also the Vita version runs better than the Switch version, and it feels like it might actually run better than every other console version because they're all targeting 1080 at 60, when the PS3 was already doing 1080 60, Vita was doing 1080 60. I can't remember if the PS2 was doing 1080 60, but I think they were actually able to hit 60 FPS on the PS2. So it really does make you wonder what on earth Konami is doing, but also, is this really truly the Switch's fault, or is their fault on both sides? In which case, I look over the fence and I see that I'm sitting on the fence and I'm looking at both sides of the fence and thinking, well, there's usually a good side and a bad side. No, both sides are bad, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But let me know what you guys think about this, because I was very, very much looking forward to this. and now I don't know what to believe anymore. Most likely I might still end up buying it, but yeah, feel free to check out this IGN article that I've got on the screen. And of course, comment below on what you guys think, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. I'd like my videos to go out to more people, and of course, try to aim for 100 subs by the end of the year. We'll see if I'm able to hit that, but with all that said and done, I'll see you guys next time.